What's up, guys? Today I'm gonna flip for you the dog who saved Christmas. So I don't know what part this part 3 or 4. So it's just gonna read like 10 minutes, and then the other day 20 minutes because last time I only read 20 minutes, no 10 minutes. So I want to finish that. Let's get started. Here we go. Bullies are just cowards. They will have They have to pick on someone to cover up their own weakness. So you stay strong, Theo, and ignore them. He tried, but because of his small size, mild manner, and physical dis- disability, he was an easy target. Months of ridiculous teasing and pranks had turned them Theos into a brooding, unhappy boy prone to snapping at his teacher and his aunt and uncle too. What a little self-esteem he had was overpowered by an anger boiling inside him. One day after school in early December 1902, Marcos Jackson swiped the bodies can and looked up in the crown of oven branch 20 feet up in a magnolia tree. Wait, so is that a bug or something? Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry about that. Stop the video. Theo was sitting but tense look on the amusement. Theo began inching his way up the tree, grunting and groaning. The skinny kid showed unexpected strength that surprised everyone, including himself. When Theo reached his can, Marcos shouted, "Hey, Crip! Why don't you just stay up there and live with the birds?" "The doo-doo birds?" Everyone laughed. Theo exploded in fury, letting out a fierce yell. He leapt off the branch, which was directly over Marquez, who was so shocked to see Theo jump that he forgot to move out of the way. Theo's plugging body slammed into Marquez, and the two crashed hard to the ground. "Oh, my head, my shoulder!" cried Marquez, whose face was quickly covered in blood. He burst into tears. Theo's legs were in pain, and his braces were bent. But he didn't mind. He felt good because Marquez was crying and whimpering like a baby. Both boys were taken to children's hospitals on Tulane Avenue. Marquez had suffered a fractured collarbone, a broken nose, and several facial cuts. Theo's legs were broken and put in a cast attached to a pulley to keep them raised. The boys were recovering in a large ward with about 2 dozen other ill or injured children. Theo's aunt and uncle tried to be understanding, but they were still upset with him. "God don't like ugly," Maddie told him. "See what happens when you seek revenge? You end up hurt yourself." "Yeah, but Marcus is hurt too," Theo argued. "I got him good." "How do you think you've won?" Eddie said. "You're both in the hospital for a long time. Looks to me like you both lost." Theo's smugness vanished. He felt awful inside, as low and alone as he had after his parents' funeral. I'm worthless cripple, and I'll always be a worthless cripple, he blurted. I am no good to anyone. Theo turned his head away from his aunt and uncle and wept. The constant pain and itching from his leg cast only added to his misery. About a week before Christmas, the pulley was removed from his cast so he could at least lie flat on his bed. But that did little to cheer him up. Because of the nature of deformed legs, he had to remain in the hospital through the new year. Every day since the incident, his aunt or uncle came to visit, but no matter how many jokes Eddie cracked or how many pra- pralines, pralines Maddie made, Theo sank deeper into desperation. Once, when he tried to get out of the bed, he slipped and knocked over the plate of ginger cookies that his aunt had baked. The plate and cook the plate the plate and cookies shattered on the floor, causing a few kids in the ward to snicker see. I can't do anything right, he moaned. The next day, Eddie marched into the ward and tossed Theo a shirt and blanket. What's this for? Asked Theo. I'm talking you out of the hospital for a few hours. There's someone I want you to meet. Eddie put him in a wheelchair, wheeled him outside, and excuse me, lifted him into the wagon. A short while later, on a street lined with elegant mansions lavishly decorated for Christmas, the wagon turned into gay entrance that led to a courtyard with a flowing fountain, ringed by poison tennis. Ahead of them stood a 3-story tall brick mansion fronted by 4 white columns and 2 black balconies draped in a garland and large gold bows. Where are we? Theo asked. This is the home of Jacques and Simon Soldier, the couple I work for, Eddie replied. He guided the wagon to the back of the mansion, where fellow workers greeted them. Eddie put the boy in his wheelchair and took him a large glass enclosed room filled with potted plants and trees. Tanks of exotic fish and cages of small dazzling birds flitting in flying about were bigger birds and beautiful butterflies. What is this place? Theo asked. This is Mrs. Sodger's aviary where she keeps her prize birds Eddie replied. Across the room, a woman in her forties who was tending to one of the bird cages turned around and beamed when she spotted Eddie, beckoned him over. That's Mrs. Soldier, whispered to Theo, a strikingly pretty woman with a peach colored complexion and black hair swirled up in the sun. Mrs. Soldier rubbed her hands on her gingham apron. She flashed a warm smile as they approached. So this must be a nephew you told me about, she said. Yes, ma'am, said Eddie. This here is Theo Landry. Delighted to meet you, Theo, she said. I am Simon Sudger. The shy boy lowered his head and mumbled, Nice to meet you, ma'am. Let me introduce you to my feathered friends, she said. She showed him African parrots and Australian parakeets, cockatiels, and crocots, lovebirds, and songbirds. I want you to meet one of my most precious birds. She motioned Eddie and Theo over to a large metal cage that contained yellow, red, and green canaries, some perching on their little wings, others zipping back and forth. See this one here in the front of corner? She said, pointing to a pale yellow canary to Theo. It looked like any other canary until he saw its twisted leg and deformed feet. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and see you next time. See ya!